Name a country where a man needs a woman's permission to travel, work, or access healthcare.
Name a country where teenage boys are married off to much older women.
Name a country where the workday is built around women's hormone cycles.
Name one country where boys get killed by their own family because they have been attacked.
Name a country where women need laws to tell them not to marry children.
Name a country where men's reproductive rights are under threat.
Name a country where sexual predators fear the law more than survivors.
Name a country where men are told that they are at fault for their abuse or murders because of their skin showing too much.
Name a country where women hold most positions of power in government, business and media collectively.
Name a country where life-saving medical research is only carried out on the female body.
Name a country.
A few months ago, I asked somebody a question. What would you think if a woman told you she's a feminist? And oh my, his answer shocked me. He said, I'll think she's stupid. Now, I wasn't shocked because he disagreed with feminism. I was shocked that a movement that fought for women's rights, which gave women the opportunity to vote, own a house, and even receive education, was associated with something that was considered stupid. Then I thought to myself, how did it become this way? How did feminism become one of the most ridiculed movements in today's society? Well, today I would like us to trace where feminism began, what it achieved, why feminism still exists in today's society, and why it has become one of the most misunderstood movements in today's society. Hello guys, my name is Denise D, and the D, my name stands for detective, because I go on the internet and I search for things that you might have a thing about, and I bring you here so we can discuss it about it. So besties, grab your popcorn or whatever you like eating, and let's get into today's episode. Before we can understand why feminism came to place, we have to know how it came to place in the first place. Looking back in history, in many societies around the world, being born as a woman often meant your life was never fully yours. Before a lot of women learned how to even speak, someone else has already decided who they belong to. First your father, now your husband. In many places, marriage was a transfer of ownership and authority from father to husband. Marriage was not always a partnership because a woman's choice, finance, legal rights, and even her body could be controlled by her husband. And due to this, wives had little to no independent legal rights, identity, after marriage.
Here's your daily reminder why we still need feminism, because the oppression and discrimination against the women are not far from us. Do you know that in China, women do not have consent to their own C-section until 2017, and that right was paid for with a woman's life. In 2017, a pregnant woman named Ma Rongrong was going through unbearable labor pain. She was on her knees begging for a C-section, and her husband's family refused because they claimed it was bad for the baby. As she couldn't stand the pain, she jumped from the hospital window, ended her and the baby's life. A woman risking her life carried the baby for 9 months, didn't have the autonomy over her own body until 2017. And China's first anti-domestic violence law wasn't passed until 2016. Before that, domestic violence wasn't treated as a crime, it was just a family matter. In Japan, until 2016, women had to wait 100 days after the divorce to remarry. Meanwhile, men could remarry the next day. In South Korea, rape within marriage wasn't seen a crime until 2017. Before that, a husband forcing himself on his wife wasn't considered rape. Marriage meant automatic consent. In Uganda, women didn't gain equal inheritance rights until 2021. Before that, women couldn't inherit land, and widows couldn't inherit from their husband. Child marriage wasn't banned in Tanzania until 2016. Before that, the legal marriage for girls was just 14 years old. Saudi Arabian women were only allowed to drive in 2018. Divorce was only legalized in Ireland in, guess when? 1996. In West Germany, married women couldn't work without their husband's permission until 1977. In the US, women couldn't open a credit card in their own name until 1974. Before that, they have to get permission from their husband or father. These aren't privileges, they are basic human rights, and women only had them in the last 50 years.
Women faced domestic violence inside her home, which was often dismissed as private family matter, rather than being treated as a crime. The sadder part was, many of these women had no realistic way to leave these marriages. Young girls were married off by their parents, they were denied the access to education because it was believed that investing in girls was a waste of time.
So for those who are new here, my grandmother was a feminist way beyond her age. So she was born in 1925. She escaped from home when she was 13 years old because she was going to be married off to an old man and pulled out of school, and she really loved school, and her stepmother actually helped her escape. So she escaped, was educated by missionaries, became a nurse and a midwife, was very successful, and reconciled eventually with her family. And when it was, the time to get married, she said she didn't want to get married because my grandmother said marriage is an oppressive system for women. So I just told that story time, gave the story of my grandmother, and she wanted children. She didn't want to get married, but wanted children. And she proceeded to have 4 wonderful children, none who looked alike.
Women were expected to spend their entire life serving their families, while their brothers were encouraged to build futures of their own and chase their dreams. Women who speak up for themselves were labeled immoral, disobedient, and dangerous. In some places, those women were accused of witchcraft and were tortured or even executed. Many women who spoke up were even punished by their family for dishonoring them with extreme violence. Across different countries, women who failed to produce children or even birth male children face blame, abandonment, abuse, and worse, death. Even a woman's sexuality was judged if she has a sexual relation before marriage, with serious consequences like death. This general inequality led to the birth of what we know today as feminism. Because they couldn't continue to live in these circumstances anymore. For much of history, many women weren't asking for special treatment. They were asking for the rights and respect that men already have. The right to education, to own a property, to vote, to earn, and to control their own income. Rights to work in different professions, rights to leave abusive marriages. But this wasn't easily handed to them. They were fought for, sometimes by peaceful protests, by enormous personal costs, and by many years of planning and organizing. Many were arrested, some lost their lives, some lost their jobs, many were mocked and ridiculed, just so women could receive equality with men.
About my mother, actually, who, through women's rights and all this, has become a total pain in the backside about it, I would say.
They're only for kitchens and making beds and babies and everything. It's all women have for. Do you think they're a chauvinist? He's a farmer, probably.
Some women like the boys to be boys and not to mess around the place and just get down to the business. They don't like to be, they don't like the whole idea of the new man who's nice and soft and gentle and talks all night and does nothing, So he cries himself to sleep. They don't particularly like that.
The place is at home. It's not out in work. It's not out telling people what to do. It's not out going for president.
You think women should be at home?
I do indeed.
And men go out and do the work.
Exactly.
In the kitchen.
It's the way of the world. It's been the way of the world for years. Why should it change now all of a sudden?
Are you a chauvinist?
I am indeed.
Fair enough if they want to work, that's fine. But if you come to work. I mean, they come along there and they sort of go, oh yes, we have to take maternity leave now, and they shoot off for 3 or 4 months, and then they start taking career breaks. And
you are chauvinist.
Most definitely.
You are too alive and kicking.
But we do appreciate women. Every home should have one.
They fought so women could receive dignity, opportunities, and legal protection just as anyone else. Over time, those effects paved the way for significant changes. Women gained the right to vote in many countries. Women were allowed to go to schools and universities. Women no longer became the properties of their husband, and they were allowed to have access to owning properties and personal belongings. Different careers became open to women. Law addressing workplace discrimination and sexual harassment were introduced and strengthened in many countries.
You always hear women were given the right to vote with the 19th Amendment. Women struggled for 100 years. For 100 years, from the 1820s when they mobilized the first conventions. And by the way, the vote wasn't even their major demand. They had a whole host of demands that had to do with the treatment of women labor and child labor and property rights, inheritance rights, all that sort of thing, and legal rights. And women struggled for 100 years. They agitated and marched and got arrested and beaten up and roughed up and chained themselves to the White House gates and got thrown into jail. Some of them died of pneumonia, force-fed and all that. And only after 100 years of struggle, then they were given the vote in this great gradualist thing.
Domestic violence that was once dismissed as private family matters became recognized as a serious crime. Marital rape, reproductive health, and violence against women became part of public debate instead of being hidden behind closed doors. Now, none of these rights happened at once, and it didn't even reach every country at the same time. And even in today's age, women around the world do not all experience the same rights or freedom.
After independence was won in Somalia, women were quickly returned to their low status in society, and excluded from political and influential spaces, with no regard for their contributions. Fatima Ahmed Alim was the first Somali woman to earn a university degree in Italy in 1962. However, highly educated women like her were rejected from even the most junior positions in government. Fatima Alim's mother Hawa Jibril expressed her disappointment and frustration through a burambur, which she used to remind women of the government's lack of recognition of their sacrifices during the anti-colonial era. Hawa Jibril's poem read, "Sisters, you sold your jewelry, depriving yourselves, enriching the struggle. Sisters, you stood united, even when men divided and deceived our nation. Sisters, we were forgotten. We did not taste the fruits of success. Even the lowest positions were not offered, and our degrees were discarded as dirt. Sisters, was this what we struggled for?"
The progress wasn't universal or even, and some countries still struggle with girl-child marriage.
18. Why we call underage is someone who is 18? Because in the 1980s, the United Nations agreed on that. But why? Does it have to be the same for everyone? Everyone becomes adult, reaches the puberty at a certain age. We don't have the same age for that. And in that case, why should I stop someone who is 17, 99 days from getting married? He's almost there. No, you can't marry today, but you can marry tomorrow. No, that makes no sense.
Unfortunately, I think we've all seen this video by now. I have talked to people with very concerning mindset and mentalities, but I still cannot believe that I just watched not one but two Moroccan women sit at the BBC and debate child marriage. I find this whole situation ironic, to be honest, because the fact that these two women had the privilege to sit down at the BBC, worldwide famous channel, and express their opinion loud and proud is something that a 15-year-old married girl cannot do. A child bride cannot sit at the BBC and express their opinion. That in itself should tell you all you need to know about child marriage.
Girl-child education, legal equality, gender-based violence, and restriction on women's ability to live freely. And yeah, is why feminism is still existing today. And whether someone identifies as a feminist or not, it's difficult to deny that many freedoms women enjoy today were shaped by generations of people who challenged the belief that women should remain silent, dependent, and invincible.
Did you know that in 1929, tens of thousands of unarmed women in Nigeria rose up against the British Empire and won? It started when the colonial government tried to impose new taxes on Igbo women. These weren't just small fees. They threatened to destroy local markets and family survival. But instead of staying silent, women organized. From village to village, they gathered in the tens of thousands, surrounding colonial offices, singing, dancing, and refusing to back down. The protest became so massive that the British panicked. Soldiers opened fire, killing over 50 women, but the resistance still was too strong. In the end, the colonial government was forced to abandon the tax plan. The Aba Women's Riot wasn't just a protest. It was one of the first mass anti-colonial movements in Africa. So, why don't we remember them alongside history's great revolution?
If feminism achieved so much, why does it still exist? Well, the answer is simple. Inequality. Inequality hasn't ended in many parts of the world.
So your wife cooks everything for you? Yeah, this is how it goes in Afghanistan. You live like a boss. You live like a boss.
I don't remember think that your wife will cook you food and you come home, you don't be like, oh, let me take this guy out. I hate that stuff, man. Let me take you to the restaurant.
So your wife doesn't work, right?
No. She's a queen. She doesn't even go outside to buy the groceries. I do everything.
Yeah?
I do everything. Even for clothes, everything. A to Z. So some people might say, oh, your wife must be depressed in the house. No, I take my wife out.
Wait, she never she leaves the house, of course, right? Like, no? Never?
I take her out because we have different land in different areas. So we have land in the outskirts, so I take her there. So I have land in the other place, which is like 2 hours away, I take her there. So I constantly just keep on giving her like, you got switching up so she feels happy,
If a woman, your wife, is not allowed to go out by herself to do her own shopping, clothing shopping, or to go out in town with her friends, you're literally controlling your wife. Your wife has to have the choice to go out if she wants to. Now this man doesn't allow her wife to go out by herself. She goes out only with him. Now some women can be happy with that, some women don't.
The place where a woman is born determines how much freedom she has. In countries like Afghanistan, for example, the Taliban have imposed sweeping restrictions on women and girls.
This is my honest experience after traveling in Afghanistan as a woman for 9 days. On our first day in Mazar, we met 2 Afghan sisters at a local market who helped us buy traditional clothes. That same night, their family welcomed us into their home. But the next day, reality hit really hard. We went to a mosque where women are not allowed to enter, only men. As foreigners, we were exempted. We were the only women inside. And while mosque in other countries gave me peace and comfort, I felt anxiety being there. As a foreign woman, I was allowed to go where local women were denied. Privilege didn't feel like freedom, only discomfort. A reminder of the voices that cannot leave, cannot speak, or cannot be seen. Afghanistan is so full of contradictions. On one hand, I learned so much about its history, art, people, culture, and saw nature that was breathtakingly beautiful. And then there were the women. We met a former math and physics professor but is now selling carpets, a female doctor but now unemployed, young girls who have to practice their sport and art in secret.
Girls are banned from secondary and higher education. Many women are not allowed some of the types of employment, and women's movement and public life is severely limited. But Afghanistan is not the only place where women face serious barriers. Around the world, millions of girls are still denied education. Girl-child marriage are still continuing in many countries.
I was cut for my future husband, so I don't have sex outside marriage.
My mom was like, Decca, I need you to go first. Daddy and I want you to get married one day. We want you to be good and clean for your husband.
If it was not a cultural traditional practice, but actually it's child abuse.
I'm crying, wait, Mom, wait. No, I'm already a good girl.
And I run off. Obviously, I'm 7 years old. There's only so much running I can do.
Women I love pulled my skirt up.
So they grabbed me, pinned me on this table.
And they pulled my underwear down and spread my legs so far apart.
Women who held me down, evil aunties, family members, family, friends.
I don't remember much after that.
We have survived. Many of us should have died that day, but we didn't.
And my parents make me promise all the time to not say anything to anyone because they can get in trouble.
This is about oppressing women. It's about oppressing women's bodies. It's about controlling women's sexuality. And that's a global issue. And working with men is so important because we were cut for men. So men need to speak out. You have to speak out because you're the fathers.
I 100% wholeheartedly believe FGM will end. But the only way that's going to end is we need to end all forms of oppression against human beings.
Women are still underrepresented in political leaderships in many parts of the world. In some places, women continue to face discrimination in inheritance, employment, healthcare, or access to justice. And the truth is, although these rights were enforced, a lot of women are still waiting for the rights to take place.
33,000 girls become child brides every day. Every single day. That is the size of many towns in America. At the current rate we're going, it's going to take 108 years to close the gender gap. And if you're curious about what that means, I'm going to include this graphic here so you can see which measures are evaluated to determine this sort of statistic. And as of 2024, although this varies greatly based upon the country, no one country has achieved gender equality. Yeah, not one. So there are countries that are better, like Sweden, but we still have a long way to go before we achieve progress.
Now, if feminism is still in action or fighting for female rights, why has feminism become so misunderstood? Part of the answer is that the world feminism has evolved. It's no longer a movement with one voice. There are different feminist perspectives, different priorities and disagreements within feminism itself.
This is a comment someone dropped on the video where I was talking to the lady who got married at the age of 13. Obviously, when these men hear these things, don't say, oh, feminism have come to spoil marriage, da 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 da. Was it not here we were when a very popular country, last year, the men took to the streets to fight and say, no, they shouldn't stop girl-child marriage. Was it not here? Yes. Socialization has a lot to do with the way people's mind are being shaped. Like, there's a lot of work to be done. I feel like feminism have not even scratched its surface. In the last 3 weeks, I have seen not less than 10 to 15 teenage moms. God, you saw the one I spoke to the other day. There's another one who also got married at 14. She's currently pregnant with her 6th child, and she has a baby that is barely, it's not up to 2 years, it's 1 year plus. The other day she was just lackadaisically carrying him where I saw her, and I met her, I chit-chat with her, and guess what? I'm older than her. I'm in my mid-20s. I'm older than her. She's on her 6th pregnancy.
It is important to note the role that social media has played in how people learn about feminism. Short clips, arguments, outrage spreads more faster than actual thoughtful discussions. And as a result, many people's understanding of feminism comes not from its history or its goals, but from the most viral and controversial clip they see online. In some people's understanding of feminism, feminism is for equality, while others has associated it with the behavior of a few individuals they've seen online.
The only thing that I could think that justifies being a feminist today is you must just want to get laid.
A woman can go far just using her faith. A man can't do that. A man can't go to a rich businessman or like a businesswoman and be like, I'm good looking, let me come to your yacht. Right. A woman can. Right.
Like some people who call themselves feminism, who have expressed hostility towards men or made extreme statements. Those voices often receive enormous attention online because outrage spreads quickly than the actual purpose of feminism. Due to the fact that feminism has challenged the beliefs about gender, work, family, and power, it has caused outrage from people that believe traditional gender roles should remain as they are. And it is important to note that there are also some women who support traditional gender roles and do not identify as feminism. Their reason may vary, where some view it as meaningful and fulfilling, while others view them as part of their culture, religion, or personal belief. Others support equal rights but reject the label feminism because of what they've associated it with. Now that we know what feminism actually is, that it was never because a woman wanted to be better than men, or because women hated men, or because women wanted to be treated as fairly as human. They wanted the right to vote, right to learn, right to own properties, the right to work in different professions, and in general, the right to become anything they want without being enforced. And although many of these battles have been won in different parts of the world, the truth is millions of women are still fighting for those same rights today. It's safe to conclude that the reason why feminism is so misjudged today is because somewhere on the internet, the meaning of feminism became misunderstood with hating men, while some believe that it meant rejecting marriage, motherhood, or femininity altogether. The truth is, the core feminism isn't about forcing women to live in one particular way or telling women they must only have careers and nothing else. Feminism is about making sure women have the freedom to choose the life that is right for them. It is saying a woman can choose whatever profession she qualifies for, and she should have the opportunity to choose whether she wants to be a full-time mom or not. Feminism means everyone deserves the freedom to make those choices without discrimination, coercion, or violence.
Looking at this video overlaid on my screen, you see that it's content made by a man promoting child abuse. Like literally, that's his entire MO, showing situations in which adult men can lure and prey on young girls, and it exists like this really on the internet. There are a lot of problems with this. First off, he actually has a loyal following, people who constantly follow and watch his videos, basically validating the predatory behavior and promoting it. This isn't an isolated problem. It exists within a much larger crisis. Africa has the highest overall rate and incidence of child marriages in the world, with approximately 130 million African girls and women getting married before they turn 18. 9 out of the 10 countries with the highest child marriages globally are in Africa. This is not even including the girls who get molested as children, even though they don't necessarily get married as children. With this kind of problem, it is wrong for people to still actively participate in this practice, and worse, to make content that encourages it. The only reason this flies without the perpetrator being punished is because the society enables it and the government enables it, because it sees the life of the girl child as an afterthought. I have to change our mentality around this. The life of girl children cannot be used as fodder for predatory men. I've done my part to ensure that kind of content on a page like that no longer exists. I want to entreat you to do the same.
Now, whether you consider yourself feminist or not, I hope this video encourages you to look beyond the stereotypes, to understand where this movement came from, and to acknowledge the work that still remains, and most importantly, contribute in the positive ways gender equality and girl child rights can be improved in whatever way you can. Peace.
Hi, I'm Debbie. My mission is to curb menstrual poverty in South Africa and Africa at large.
When I was 14, I missed out on several weeks of school due to financial struggles. This was devastating for me because I loved school. I knew what it felt like to be held back. So when I realized that there were so many other girls that were missing school just because of their period, I knew that I had to do something.
So she started the Debbie T Foundation, brought together over 30 volunteers, and donated more than 900 pads. Then she launched reusable ones, making period care more sustainable and accessible.
Thank you guys for tuning in today's episode. Please leave a like and do comment your thoughts and opinion in the comment section. And yeah, you could share this to anyone that you think would love and would help to listen to this episode of today. Guys, the goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers this year. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.